All right. It's 5:45 Central Standard Time on February 6th, 2021. Hope everybody's doing good. I thought I'd put some imagery up there that might put a smile on your face. Little cute balls here playing in the snow. What's up, Keno, Pamela, Billy the Kid, Libertas, back Shamil's here, farming it up. Trust your gut. David Lee, Universal Jupiter, David E, Jonathan H. Let me know if you can hear me okay, and we'll get started. I don't appreciate Brian Y. Talking to S about the Pillow King. Well, he did kind of make a promise that didn't come to pass, misleading a whole lot of people. Plus, he's into partisan politics, and anybody who's going to promote the left versus right paradigm lie is really not doing anybody any good at all. As a matter of fact, look at it. It's leading to our detriment. We're full bore, pedal to the metal, heading toward totalitarianism. What's up? Take back. Wow, that's going fast. Take back, John Anderson, Meg. Hope you guys are doing okay. I want to just deal with some things real quick. It's good to see you, brothers and sisters out there. It doesn't matter to me if you're in America or wherever you are on this planet. We are all one, and we want to make our world a better place. Period. That's what I'm here on YouTube and social media to do. And I'm pretty sure I can speak for you guys. You just want this world to be a better place. You just want to be left alone. You want to be left alone to do good things, to raise your family, to feed your family, to make your mark on this world before you leave. We all got a certain amount of sand in the hourglass, guys. Once that sand runs out, there are no do-overs. Live your best life now. Do all that you can. Do all the good that you can, in all the ways that you can, to all the people you can, in every way that you can, in every place that you can, simply because you can. Use your good to do good to other people. That's the bottom line. Ain't that what life's all about? Yeah, the new muzzle world. Anybody disagree with that? Jeez, man. I mean, if you're a rational, intelligent, compassionate human being with just a modicum of love in your heart, isn't that what we all want to do? I woke up this morning to some fantastic news, and I'm being facetious about that. My here's what my High Impact Vlogs channel looks like now. If you go to High Impact Vlogs, this is what it looks like right now. This account has been terminated for violating YouTube's community guidelines. So that's gone, and that was 176, almost closing in on 180,000 subscribers, and this is my High Impact TV channel. Account has been terminated for violating YouTube's community guidelines. That was 72,000, and they're picking off videos that I put up a long time ago, And I have to admit that I'm somewhat disappointed and frustrated and infuriated all at the same time, because, and not so much because I got censored on these and taken off, but it was basically, there's somebody out there in Silicon Valley who's basically saying to 71,000 people and to almost 180,000 people, and even on this channel 560,000 people, well, we don't want you to hear that. We don't want you to hear that. We deem that as MED misinformation. If you're not free to listen to misinformation, you're not free. If you're not free to entertain the thought of misinformation, and besides that, it's all they get themselves in a catch-22, because it's not that they're against misinformation. Because how many times have we heard MSNBC, CBS, Fox News, all these ABC, CBS, speaking just utter nonsense, dangerous nonsense, beating the war drums, getting our sons and daughters on the killing fields of war, ripping poor people off, promoting stuff for the banksters and for the billionaires. So it's not so much that they're against misinformation. It's they're against your misinformation because they deem it misinformation. There's no attempt on this channel to try to misinform anybody. I don't want to misinform anybody. But I can't say the same thing for fake stream media. So I wake up and my High Impact TV channel is gone, just like High Impact Vlogs got taken down a month ago or a month and a half ago. So now I got this channel right here that you're viewing me on right now, High Impact Flicks and Grease Monkey Videos. If you would do me a favor, and here's what I'll do. Let's just do it live before we get warmed up here. I got 14,900 subscribers on there. It's a very, very small channel.
Hey, welcome
basically, I'm starting over there. So here's what I got right here. I'm going to put the link in the chat room. If you guys can go there, and I'll spend like 2 or 3 minutes on this and just, give this last video a thumbs up if you guys, like the content, and maybe leave a comment there. I just need to get some interaction so that I'm not so suppressed over there, because smaller channels just don't get as the viewership of larger channels. So Sparky Tuttle just went there 9 seconds ago. So if you guys are, let's see, there's 451 people here. If we can get just like 10%, like 45 people, going over there and just leaving a comment, I'll shout out some of those comments. Anonymous Rebel David is here. Yeah, it's basically a thought crime. Yeah, I know. RFB got taken down. I went to bat for RFB when he lost his channels. Buck Fidden said that. Braden Phillips, good thing you made another backup channel. Yeah, well, actually, you know what? I was going to talk to you guys about this. I was entertaining the thought because a lot of people suggested that I start a channel where I do like cop watching and just, either go live or record my interactions with cops. Basically not behind the desk stuff, not reading news, not talking about what's going on with current events, but actually going out there with a video camera and interacting with cops, or just asking people questions. Maybe setting up a booth like Steven Crowder does. Socialism is evil, change my mind, or whatever. If you guys think that's a good idea, put a 1 in the room, and then I'll probably in the next couple of days, if you guys think it is a good idea, if nobody's going to watch it, I'm just not going to do it. If I get 100 ones in the room, I'll start that and I'll try to set that thing up. I'll get my VPN, activated right here, and I'll turn that on and do another, or maybe use somebody else's computer. Maybe that would be good, because it's really hard once you get taken down to start another YouTube channel. So I'll do that. I've been wanting to do that anyway. That's basically how I got my start on High Impact Flicks. This channel used to be called One Truth for Life. And the very first video that I ever did along those lines, we were in a place in Missouri just stopping to get something to eat. And it was at a Walmart. That's a lot of ones. All right, cool. All right. And then help me out, guys. None of us is greater than all of us. Let me know what you think we should name the channel. Something simple, something memorable. Let me know what you guys think the channel name should be called, and I'll set that up. I really like what James Freeman does. I like what the Cop Watchers do. NC Tyrant Hunter and San Joaquin Valley Transparency. If you're not familiar with those channels, check them out. They really, really do a good job. I mean, that's frontline First Amendment stuff. I'm not the kind of guy who's going to go out there and cuss and give a cop a hard time, but I do want to ask him questions. So we were there in Missouri. I don't even know where that video is anymore. That video got, when all was said and done, I think it got like 5 million views. And then I saw somebody mirrored that video and put it up in his channel. I can't remember the guy's name, but it ended up getting millions and millions and millions of more views. Because basically it was me and my daughter and some of her friends, and they were all, of course, carrying their personal protection devices, and people were freaking out in that Walmart, which is crazy because in Missouri, even at that time, just like it is now, it's a constitutional carry state. You can come anywhere. There was no sign on the door. We went into a Walmart to go get to their deli and get something to eat. As a matter of fact, my daughter and her friends went to the Subway. I went to the deli to get some of those chicken nuggets or whatever. And when I came back, man, they were being harassed by the cops. This cop had an AR-15 and they were being all serious and stuff. So I recorded the incident, and it actually, it kind of woke a lot of people up, and I really enjoyed doing it. And I really enjoy holding law enforcers to account for all we ask, just honor your oath. And when I say honor your oath, I'm just saying, look, you put your hand on the Bible. Nobody forced you to do that. You put your right hand toward heaven. You said you'd protect and defend the Constitution of the United States against all enemies, foreign and domestic. Hey, that's just what we're holding you to. So my approach wouldn't be so much as, hammering them between the eyes like some of these guys do. And I don't begrudge them for that. They do a really good job. That's just not my style. So my thing would be, I would just walk up to somebody and I don't know. I'd have to be there at the time. It's kind of hard to rehearse it in your mind before you even get there. But one of the things that I said to that one guy, because he was asking for our IDs, I said, was there a crime that was committed? If there was a crime that was committed, could you articulate it? I mean, are we the criminals? Why do you want our IDs? Because usually you only ask for an ID if the person that you're asking the ID from has committed, you believe they will commit, or will commit or did commit a crime. And, there was no such thing. And, of course, I was stupid back then. It was back in 2014 or 2013, and I didn't really have a whole lot of knowledge on how to do it. So, of course, I gave him my driver's license, which I wouldn't have done today. I would have made him work for it, Nobody wants to go to jail, but then, there comes a point where it's like, you know what? You got to stand up for your rights. If you don't stand for something, you will fall for anything. And it's time for us to stop falling for anything. Let me see. I'm going to refresh this. Go to newest first here. PTSD Joe. Brian, we need to talk. I got some inside info for you. Okay, cool. Think for yourself. Thank you for coming. We all need to support each other. Only herbivorous animals get arterial sclerosis is the name of the YouTube channel. Oh my gosh. Jay's weighing in. Einstein, Braden Phillips, VNN, Baroness speaks. Thank you for the support. Flogs Crazy Encounters. And by the way, what this is my last video that I uploaded on my Grease Monkeys video, Grease Monkeys video channel on YouTube. Make another backup channel. Anyway, sub. Thanks, Proxima. Zombie Hunter News Network. Love from Cincinnati. Hey, thanks. Love back to you, bro. Hey, look, like the hair, man. John Anderson commented. That's hilarious. Ryan Bird. Let's get a shout out. Thanks, bro. Chill till I die 773. Love your content. Keep it up, Brian. ESP revaluation. Stay on the truth street. TJ Plumber here. Farming it up. Gaming. Love the excited and comedy. Mary Johnson subbed. Thanks. Thumbs up from channel 83. Sparky Tuttle. I'll have to read that later. Can you imagine what Brian Stelter would look like as a man? Dennis H. That's hilarious. Barney Fife is needed to remind. Oh yeah. Here, I'm going to show you the first part of this video right here. I got a clip of Barney Fife, nip it in the bud. Hey, I love Barney Fife, man. Don Knotts was just freaking hilarious.
Welcome to Grease Monkey videos, where everything you see on this channel is going to be positive.
And I did that because, Gomer Pyle, it's surprise is going to be positive.
And anything that's negative, well, we're going to nip that in the bud. Isn't that right, Barney?
Nip it in the bud. All right, then, nip it. I say this calls for action, and now, nip it in the bud. You got to nip it in the bud.
We need some bud nipping. That's what we need, some good old-fashioned bud nipping. A couple things I wanted to go over with you today. That is so freaking cute, these little puppy dogs. That just makes my day, man. Don't you just love animals? Don't you just love how just lovable and cute and faithful they are? All right, so what I wanted to show you is this right here. There was a, what was this from? Let me see here. This was a StarCraft gaming tournament that took place about a decade ago. And these were the prizes that the teams could win. Check this out. First prize was $500. Second place was $250. Third place was $150. Fourth place was $100. And check this out. I'm going to have to expand this out. Look what 5th through 8th place was. 5th through 8th place was 25 Bitcoins. This is 10 years ago. It's like, when it really pays to be last. 25 Bitcoins. What's Bitcoin at right now? What, about hovering around $40,000? 25 times 40,000. I think, what is that? $1 million? Fifth to 8th place was 25 Bitcoins. It's like, oh my gosh. Can you imagine being the first place winner and looking back at this and going, hey, I won $500. Oh my gosh. I could have 25 Bitcoin. That's so funny. Nippet got censored in the chat? What do you mean? What do you mean, WCM? How did that get censored in the chat? No notifications for this stream, says Steve. That's typical. That's typical. Yeah, Bitcoin's at 40,000 now. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. What do you mean Nippet got... Did that little snippet... Did the snippet of Nippet get censored in the on the live stream? High impact audits. That's a good idea. Yeah, Dogecoin was pumped by Elon Musk and Gene Simmons from Kiss. Just Gene Simmons from Kiss put like 6 figures in Dogecoin and it popped up to like 5.9 cents. We'll take a look at that chart. Matter of fact, here's the chart right here. Yeah, I don't know where Simmons pumped it, but it's one of those pump and dumps, man. Where if you just happen to be in the trade, you did pretty good. All right, so if you guys think of a good channel for police audits, let me know. I saw this right before I went live. I'm not into backing any senator or congressman, but this is just another symptom of what's going on in our world. This is from Senator Ron Johnson. He said, YouTube has suspended a U.S. senator's account, mine, because it contained information on possible effective early treatment for this thing that you can't say because algos will pick you up, using safe, cheap, and available generic drugs. Go figure. That is just frickin' amazing. They won't censor the information coming off of mainstream media as though everything that they say is absolutely right and nothing they say could possibly be wrong. And some people were asking, that coin is a joke coin. Well, people are making some joke money out of it. This channel, by the way, is 100% demonetized. This entire live stream is supported by you guys. So there's a way. I have a workaround, and the link is in the description at the very top of the description. Here's the link right here. If you guys can see that right there, that's the way we work around. If you guys support me with that, we'll, for lack of a better term, super chat. Tip jar chat, whatever you want to call it, high impact chat, that your donation and your message will appear on the screen. I got it set up. So Ron Johnson gets suspended from YT today for, giving some alternate facts about how to recover from said cerveza bug. Says YouTube's double standard. You can't hear from doctors who successfully treat patients and recommend early treatment, but Chinese state media can use YouTube to say, hashtag came from Italy. Wonderful. That's the ministry of truth, the veil of the ministry of truth that you have to go through to get out your message today. Johnson says YouTube allows Chinese state media on their platform, but not courageous doctors who save lives by treating patients. Whose side is Google on? Gab reaches out. Hello, Senator Johnson. We would love to help you host this video on Gab TV, the free speech alternative to YouTube. Which, by the way, guys, if you're not on Gab, let me just show you this. I've got a Gab account set up. I will start using this more and more as I migrate more. It just takes a little time to get a hold of, just kind of understand the inner workings of other platforms. And of course, it's not going to pull up. Here's my Gab. I'm going to put my Gab account if you guys want to follow me over there on Gab. And I do understand that Andrew Torba from Gab is going to start Gab TV to start competing with YouTube. And guys, there are a lot of platforms that are way better in a lot of areas than YouTube is. The only thing that they lack is the audience and the reach. And I don't know, maybe YouTube's helping us out. They're chopping off their own feet. They're actually chopping off their feet at the kneecaps as people are fleeing in droves to other platforms like Gab TV, Library, BitChute. The interesting thing about YouTube also is they're starting to penalize people for off-platform activity. In other words, if you, if you are identified as owning an account or a channel on YouTube. This happened on Twitter several times already. If you own an account on YouTube or Twitter or Facebook or whatever, and you do anything off platform, they actually have been known to issue suspensions and terminations for channels for something somebody did that wasn't even on their platform, didn't even break their terms of service. It's like, well, because you've signed up to us, you represent us. So anything you do off platform is basically you're a representative for YouTube. That's just BS. It's just utter BS. Thank you, Baxter Schmill. And what I'll do is I'll read every single tip chat or high impact chat at the end of the stream, or maybe even in the middle. Now, you guys know me. You guys know what I think about Gateway Pundit. They completely play to the right side of the left versus right paradigm lie. But Jim Hoff from the Gateway Pundit with 376,000 followers was suspended by Twitter today. I'm so against censorship, guys. And I mean it without any hint of cliche. Censorship is to society what cancer is to the human body, and it never stays stagnant, and it always turns around and bites you. Even people who are applauding censorship today, it's coming around to you, buddy. You better be on board with the against censorship people, because I'm telling you, man, this is really, really getting pretty serious. So Ron Johnson gets kicked off of YouTube. Gateway Pundit gets kicked off Twitter, and those are just two examples of something that happened today. Just two. I don't know how many people got kicked off of these platforms today. Now it's being reported by The Hill, and I just want to remind the YouTube algorithm police that I am just reporting what The Hill is reporting. The TSA is going to fine ritualistic shame violators up to $1,500. That's right. Now the blue shirts aren't just going to radiate and molest you. They're not just going to throw away your shampoo and conditioner. They're not just going to violate the Fourth Amendment for you to be secure in your person's house and papers and effects, and have you take off your shoes and your socks and put it in the bin and take off your belt. And oh, by the way, do you have any metal on you, and start feeling you up? They're not just going to do that. Now they're going to issue citations if you're not wearing a ritualistic shame muzzle. From what I understand, $250 to $1,500 for repeat offenders. Repeat offenders. Yeah, thanks, TSA. I like to do this. I like to breathe. The Transportation Security Administration, which, by the way, cost U.S. tax cattle. Did I say tax cattle again? I'm sorry, guys. Taxpayers. Of course we pay taxes, right? Jeez. What's wrong with me? Bad YouTuber. U.S. taxpayers pay the Department of Homeland Security $60.1 billion a year. Part of that is the TSA, $9 billion a year. And just let me remind you, it's security theater, because federal red team tests go in and they test to see if they can smuggle loaded firearms and explosives and see if they can get them onto departing flights. And lo and behold, 95% of the time, they succeed. The blue shirts aren't even keeping you safe. That's why it's all security theater. The Transportation Security Administration has recommended a fine of $250 increased up to $1,500 for repeat violations of its recently released federal transportation ritualistic shame muzzle requirement. The agency wrote in a Friday update, based on substantial aggravating or mitigating factors, TSA may seek a sanction amount that falls outside these ranges. On Sunday, TSA was authorized. You will obey my authority. I am authorized to fine passengers who fail to comply with the new ritualistic shame requirements on public transportation systems. Darby LaJoy, a senior TSA official, says this will help prevent further spread of the George Orwell incident and encourages a unified government response. That's Con VID 1984 from George Orwell. A quote, as we continue to experience impacts from this planned organized partial shutdown of the U.S. economy in the second quarter, we need to call it what it is, guys, every single time. It's a planned, organized, but this right here is a planned, organized partial shutdown of the U.S. economy in the second quarter. And I didn't say it. James Bullard said it from the Federal Reserve. We are committed to this measure as the right thing to do for the TSA workforce, for our industry stakeholders, and for passengers. President Biden enacted an executive order, like the king that he thinks he is, on January 21st, requiring federal agencies to take immediate action making ritualistic shame muzzles mandatory on public transportation, after which the Cat Dog Cat Corporation and issued guidance requiring ritualistic shame muzzles to be worn while travelers are at transportation hubs and conveyances. So there's our new requirement. It's not enough for them to engage in radiation and molestation practices and just completely humiliate you by making you take off your shoes and do all this other nonsense as they put on the blue shirts, put on their blue gloves and feel you and your family and your children up. Think about it. Who's going to sign on the dotted line for a job like that? Seriously. Oh, I get to trash the Fourth Amendment. Did you know that they take an oath of office as well, the TSA? Why even do that? Why even have a constitution? That's why I always say what Lysander Spooner said. Whether the Constitution be one thing or another, this much is certain. It's either authorized such a government as we have, that's a tyrannical, overstepping bounds government, or it's been powerless to resist it. In either case, it's unfit to exist. For these people, it's just a piece of paper to crumple up and throw in the round file, or burn it up, or trample it under their feet. That's our new abnormal, guys. Our new abnormal. See, I don't really want to go back to, I don't want to go back to normal, because normal post 9/11 was the TSA, the blue shirts, Department of Homeland Security, the Patriot Act. That's not the normal I want to go back to. If we're going to go back to something, we need to go back to an economic and financially fit climate where you actually have a dollar that is stable and that's backed by not other fiat currency, not the power and might of the U.S. military, not the word of international bankers, but by real assets like gold and silver. Somebody was saying the other night, oh yeah, we can create gold now through electrolysis, but it's very, very expensive. If you want to create gold, you have to expend a lot of energy. If you want to mine gold, there's planning involved in that. You got to know where it is. You got to dig for it. You got to sift through tons and tons, metric tons of rocks so that you get it in your little screen and you can get gold and you can get silver. That stuff doesn't grow on trees. And besides that, they're not even printing dollars into existence anymore. They're not even bothering with that. We live in the digital age. They're printing that stuff. They're putting zeros and ones in people's bank accounts. It's backed by nothing. And then when they dilute the M2 money supply, that means every dollar that you currently have in your pocket that you earned, say 2, 3, 4, 5 years ago, it's just leaking in value, leaking, because they're putting more. See, they make it easy. They just shovel it into existence. Let's just say we're talking about the real physical fiat currency note. They just shovel it into existence. You and me, on the other hand, we have to use our brain power. We have to roll up our sleeves by the sweat of our brow and by the blood, sweat, and tears and sacrifice of our families. We have to go out and earn it. They can just make it. That's because they're the banking class. They're the political class. They're the ruling class. But I digress. Or do I? Because this is all intertwined. Every bit of it. This is a new little thing today from Saturday, February 6th. Kroger to pay workers 100 simoleons if they get the Cerveza jab. If they bow down at the altar of Jabbo the Hutt, Kroger will pay its workers $100. There's a little nuance to this too. There's an alternate story that's actually, running parallel to this one right here. If you don't know what Kroger is, if you live in California, Kroger owns Ralph's. I think they also own Food for Less. So this is the Kroger company. I think KR is the symbol, the trading symbol. Let's see. Let me expand this so you can see it, because it's pretty unbelievable. What's really unbelievable is that there are people who have who've hit hard times. From what I've read, 75% of Americans don't even have $25 in their bank account, and all those people live paycheck to paycheck. So an extra $100 in your bank account is pretty tantalizing to people who, it's like, man, I know this is probably not a good thing, and once it goes in me, it's not coming out. But man, I got kids to feed, I got bills to pay, I got to do stuff. So there's people really down on their luck that might go for this. What's your life worth, though? You have to ask yourself, what is your life worth? Timed out for saying they live. Is something going on in the chat room? Like, are people getting, are they getting put on timeout? What's going on in the chat room? Oh, they own Albertsons too in Vegas, says M. Moretti. I wonder what's going on in the chat room. Kroger has joined a growing list of large U.S. grocery store chains offering incentives for workers to get, oh man, why did that just do that? To get the you-know-what. Incentives for workers to get you-know-what. The company announced that its associates would get a one-time $100 payment if they show proof that they've received the full manufacturer-recommended you-know-what. Workers that can't get the you-know-what for health or religious reasons can get the payment if they take an educational health and safety course, the company said in a news release. Here's what they said. We know that the most effective defense, we know. It's like they don't believe, they don't think, they feel. We know. How do you know? How do you know? Were there long-term clinical trials? Did they test this on animals? I don't know. Maybe they have. Maybe they have. Not making any assertions here, not leading anybody in any direction. Just this is coming from CNN Business, guys. All you YT algorithmic people in the, not people, but bots in the room. We know that the most effective defense against this planned organized partial shutdown comes in the form of, let's see, what did Gil Bates call it? The final solution. And the continuation, you know what? You got to be careful about saying that as well. The continuation of the rigorous safety precautions we've established across our stores, manufacturing facilities, and supply chain, says this Mark Watkins, Kroger Chief Medical Officer, in a statement. Quote, we are strongly encouraging all customers and associates to receive the you-know-what to curb the spread of you-know-what, and we'll do all we can to ensure that they have access as soon as possible. The Kroger operates grocery stores under a number of names in 35 states. The company said it would also spend about an additional $50 million to thank and reward its associates, including a $100 store credit and $1,000 fuel points to its hourly frontline grocery supply chain, manufacturing, pharmacy, and call center associates. Earlier this week, check this out. Earlier this week, the chain announced that it would permanently close 2 Ralph's and Food for Less stores it owns in Long Beach, California. They can do whatever they want to with their own stores, but here's what they were doing. To avoid paying a $4 per hour hazard pay required by the city. So the city was going to require this business. Think about yourself as a small or medium or large business owner. The city comes to you and forces you to pay an extra $4 to each and every one of your employees for hazard pay for the planned organized partial shutdown of the U.S. economy in the second quarter, whether you believe it or not. That's what they did. And Kroger said, screw this, we're out of Long Beach. So they closed closed 2 Ralph's and 1 Food for Less store, 3 big stores. They're like, we're out of here. See ya. So there you go. There you go. But I want to show you that people are pretty pissed off about that too. States are looking to help their vulnerable communities as distribution ramps up. Sorry, this is the one right here. This is the one right here. I accidentally clicked on that a second ago when I was reading that last article. Supermarket workers angry as Kroger plans store closures to avoid planned organized partial shutdown of the U.S. economy hazard payments. Always got to remember this. That's exactly what it is. Hundreds of grocery store workers in Long Beach, California may soon be without jobs after Kroger announced it will permanently close 2 stores to avoid offering workers hazard pay during the planned organized partial shutdown of the U.S. economy in the second quarter. And I have to think on one level, this is like a principal position. It's like, no, it's really not so much that that we're trying to get out of paying our employees $4 extra an hour on their hourly rate because of this so-called citywide hazard pay. It's more the principle of you're trying to force us to do something that we don't want to do. We're out of here. The citywide hazard pay ordinance requires large grocers to pay their staff an extra $4 an hour for at least 4 months. You know that's going to turn into 6 months and 8 months and 10 months and 12 months. Remember 14 days to flatten the you know what? I almost said it. I almost tripped off an algo with my own words. With your own words there, huh? What is that? Boy, the way that songs that made the hit parade. Guys like us, we had it made. Those were the days. Let's see. The citywide hazard pay ordinance requires, I already read that. It's a slap in the face. This person says it's a slap in the face when they don't want to pay us what we deserve, putting our lives on the front line. So basically, a lot of these people were saying, hey, we'll put our lives on the front line for $4 an hour. It's like, what's your life worth? Really? What are you willing to put your life on the line for? $4 an hour, an extra 50 cents an hour, an extra $50 a day. Schmutz says no spark. By the way, there's 1,088 people in here. There's 412 likes. If you like this content, please give me a thumbs up. It really does help. It goes a long way with overcoming the algorithms. So, it's a slap in the face when they don't want to pay us what we deserve, putting our lives on the front line. We work so hard. We work so much overtime. It's ridiculous. Well, that's why a lot of people work overtime, so that they can get time and a half or double time and a half or whatever the rate is. Local officials in the United Food and Commercial Workers International Union, which represents 1.3 million workers, condemned Kroger's move to close the stores instead of increasing employees' pay. Wouldn't you be just trying to go, hey, I'll tell you what, we're not going to do the $4 thing. Would you stay? Instead of sending a negotiator in there and go, what would you be willing to pay as far as hazard pay? And what if Kroger goes, hey, we don't buy into the planned organized partial shutdown of the U.S. economy in the second quarter. We're not paying anything extra. If they want to stay here, that's fine. It's free market. If they don't, that's what's wrong with increasing the minimum wage to $15 an hour. You're actually forcing businesses against their will, without their consent. Let's say you have an $8 employee and he just started. He doesn't even know the ropes. He doesn't know anything. And all of a sudden somebody changes and makes something a law, which is not a law. It's just the opinions of politicians backed by the threat of force. But this quote unquote law goes into effect. And now that business owner who's paying that entry-level employee $8 an hour now has to pay that guy $15 an hour. First of all, why'd they stop at 15? Why not 25? Why not 50? Why not 100? Why are they stopping there? Huh? Oh, because if you go too high, it'll break the bank, huh? $15 an hour will break the bank. It'll break the back of a lot of businesses out there. A lot of businesses. So this $8 an hour employee now gets $15 an hour. Let's say you had 5 employees all making, 3 of them are making $8 an hour and 2 of them are making, let's say $12 an hour. Now they're all going to be making $15 an hour. What's your move as a business owner? Because this is basically biting into your production. It's biting into your business. It's biting into your bottom line. It's going to determine whether or not you can actually put food on the table or even employ those people or keep the lights on or even keep that business open. So now I, as a business owner, have to make a decision. I've got 3 people making $8 an hour. 2 people making $12 an hour. Now all of them are making $15 an hour. I'm going to have to cut my workforce. So now instead of having 5 employees, I'm forced to stick with 2 employees because now they're getting paid $15 an hour each, or maybe 3 employees. So now 2 employees lose their job, whereas they were rubbing their hands together going, hey, I went from, hey mom, guess what? I went from $8 to $15 an hour. I know. When I go in tomorrow and I clock in, my first hour, instead of $8, they're going to pay me $15. Yes. Thank you, Joe Biden. All right. Bye, mom. I love you. The kid gets up the next morning, 18-year-old, 19, 20 years old, goes into work, and he's got his time card. He's about to punch in, man. And the owner says, hey, Charlie, can I see you in my office there for a second? Yeah, sure, boss. Hold on. Let me clock in. No, don't clock in. Let me just talk to you real quick. But I'm almost late. No, don't worry. Just come on over here. You don't have a job anymore. What? Yeah, I can't pay you $15 an hour. What do you mean? Joe Biden said, hey, I get $15 an hour. It's like, I can't afford it. So I had to get rid of you. Charlie, I had to get rid of you. I had to get rid of Freddie. And I'm going to keep the other 3 employees, but it's looking iffy there. I might only be able to keep 2 employees. And now 2 or 3 people lose their jobs. Now they don't have a job, whereas they were grateful making $8 an hour. Now they don't even have a job. You think they're going to get a job somewhere else, an entry-level position at another business getting paid $15 an hour? Good luck. You want to crash an economy? Start messing with the minimum wage. Start telling business owners what they want what you want them to do when they don't even want to do it. They can't afford to do it. It's nonsense. It's utter nonsense. It's basically economic terrorism and economic suicide for any economy. So you what you got is major job loss. You got businesses going out of business, and you got employees going, please, boss, let me negotiate with you. I'll take $8, whatever. I don't want the $15. And it's like, Charlie, I can't do that. If I start paying you $8 an hour when the minimum wage is now $15 an hour, I could go to jail. They'll heavily fine me because I broke the law. No. We have an agreement. It's just between you and me. Look, I'll even write it down. It's like government doesn't work like that. They don't want you to be able to enter into a mutually exclusive, consensual business transaction with me. And they don't want me to do the same to you. And it's like, oh God. And now the guy's got to go home and go, I don't have a job. He was so excited that night before he went to bed. He's going to make $15 an hour, but people don't understand economics. They don't understand what it takes to run a business. They don't understand the sacrifices small business owners already make. They're already spread thin. They're already working 80 hours a week trying to get that thing off the ground. 80% of small businesses fail. Watch more fail. Oh yeah, and that's another thing. On the heels of this planned organized partial shutdown of the U.S. economy, where small businesses are teetering anyway, 65% by Forbes figures, 65% of small businesses have already gone out of business, never to reopen again. And you're going to get that final death blow of $15 an hour, Uncle Joe? That'll fix us. That'll start putting bread on the table. No, it actually took bread away from those people. Now, not only did the business owner get penalized, but the person that the government tried to give a raise to also got penalized because now the government knocked them out of even having a job. There you go. You want to make your situation work? Just call government. Dial 1-800-SLAVE for you. It's utter nonsense, man. Let me get with the tip jar here. Thank you guys. I appreciate it. Baxter Mill dropped $2.22. I want to nip it everywhere in this chat room. People in New York City have gone crazy a long time ago. Troy Rhodes dropped a $5 tip jar chat. Just thought I'd try this. I'm not real technical. What face? Oh, I guess maybe that's an emoji, but it spelled it out. Thank you, man. Thank you, Troy. Thank you, Baxter Mill. Cody Edwards drops $20. My YouTube fishing channel will be called Indiana Suspicious Activity Outdoor Adventures when the weather starts warming up. Me and my cousin had the cops called on us 9 times in a 4-week period. They said I was in a wetsuit, Brian. I bought a couple. That is cool, man. I look forward to that. That's gonna be interesting. Colby0724 dropped a $15 tip jar. What are we gonna call this? High impact tip? High impact tips? Tips for flicks? Man, I really get a lot out of your streams. I look forward to them every day. I first saw your work through the Dollar Vigilante, but became a huge fan after I saw your stance on voting. I will support when possible because the world needs your streams. Man, thank you for that super chat, and thank you for reminding me because somebody left a comment under the last video. Was it? Let's see. Let me look this up because I wanted to address this guy because I don't want to leave this. I don't like leaving anybody hanging, and I know I do. And it's just because there's only one of me and there's a lot of you guys. Let's see, who was it? Yeah, Michael Pierce. Okay, I'm going to read this in a second, but let me finish this last tip jar chat. By the way, just if you're new to the stream, I'm completely demonetized on this channel. There are no super chats, so if you want to circumvent that and stick it to the man and help me feed my children, the link is in at the very top of the description, and you can see it on the screen right there. Okay, so Climate Change Moron dropped $3 and said, "Hey Brian, thanks for not only keeping me sane. My name is Calvin Mauve. I make music with a subversive soul. All music is relaxing and free. Life before the masquerade in my last work. I make it to keep myself sane. Maybe it will help others keep sane." Let's see. Climate Change Moron. Let's see. Let me just give you a shout out here. Climate Change Moron. Oh, I should put channel on that. Climate Change Moron channel. Climate change more. Wait, is there something else? What am I missing here? Is it under Calvin? Maybe it's under your name. Should I put channel on there? Hold on. Sorry, guys. Well, maybe somebody can drop me that link. Yeah, I don't see. Shoot. Well, I messed that up. Sorry, man. I'll give you a shout out if you want to drop the link. Let's see. Where were we going? Oh yeah, I wanted to address. And look, I welcome, man. I welcome. I welcome a challenge. I welcome critique. You know, if I'm wrong about something, I want to just come clean with it. I want to be able to sleep at night. One of the most comfortable pillows you will ever own is a clear conscience. I believe in just cleaning your conscience every day. Just, you know, getting yourself in a different. I don't know. I'm not a new agey kind of person, but just getting yourself on a different plane of thinking. You know what I mean? A plane of thinking that's going to benefit you, and you want to benefit yourself so that you can go out there and benefit others. Because if we're messed up in our brains, how are messed up people going to help other messed up people? It just doesn't happen. If I have crap on my hands, how am I going to try to clean the crap off of your, white shirt or whatever? Michael Pierce says government isn't going away, and I agree with that. But one of the reasons, did Kelvin put that something in there? Let's see. One of my mods, if you can pick up Kelvin's channel and drop that just drop that as a link, I'd appreciate it. Because I'm not going to be able to look at the chat room and read this at the same time. So government isn't going away. One of the reasons government isn't going away, and let's just remember what government is. Just etymologically speaking, government is control. It's mind control. It's governo and mentis. It's the two Latin words, governo and mentis. Governo means control or govern, and mentis means the mind, to control the mind or mind control. So basically he's saying mind control isn't going away. What's one of the reasons mind control wouldn't go away? One of the reasons mind control wouldn't go away is if we all continue to submit to it. The moment we back off from it and don't play that game, that's the moment at which the state or the beast system or whatever you want to call it begins to weaken. Cracks begin to form. The dam begins to break. Chains begin to fall. People begin to be free. So one of the reasons government isn't going away is because we all have a mentality that government is somehow legitimate when it's not. Because how government is fleshed out is that there are people on this planet that call themselves agents of government, and how they live is they really believe they have a higher claim over your life and property than you. And I know I keep saying it, but maybe I'll say it enough to where it goes into people's minds and sinks down into their hearts. Nobody's got a higher claim over your life and property than you. And if that's true that they don't, then there can be no such thing as government. And all these people out here, they're just... Bastiat said the state or the government is that great fiction by which everyone seeks to live at the expense of everyone else. That's true. Government is a fiction. Government agents are believing in fiction. They're believing they're better than you. They have qualified immunity. They can do things that you can't do. They can get away with things you wouldn't be able to get away with. If you did the things government did, if you did the things law enforcers did, if you did the things politicians did, you and I would be rightly put in jail, taken away from society because we're a danger to ourselves and to other people, starting wars, writing laws that take away people's rights and steal people's money. Give me a break. Nobody's got a right to do that to you. And if that's the case, if nobody does have that right, then government is a fiction by which everyone seeks to live at the expense of everyone else. He said, Michael Pierce, I appreciate you, Michael, for saying this stuff. You want a better system? Then build it. That's what we're in the process of doing. But you can only build a new system when you get detached from the old. First of all, you got to recognize the old for what it is. And then once you do that, all you got to do is go, should I set my moral compass to government, to theft and robbery and rulership and qualified immunity? Or should I set my compass on another course? That's up to you to decide. But you can't be following a moral compass and be following government at the same time and participating in an absolutely corrupt system. He says, then build it. The left knows how to change our voting system so that the left could use it to their best advantage to try and win the election. That applies to the right too. The left and the right are two wings of the same bird of prey. And I mean bird of prey because they're constantly circling around looking for an opportunity to take away more of your rights and more of your wealth. That's what laws do. Laws do two things. They transfer wealth and they transfer power. They take your money and they take away your rights. And there's a power transfer, guys. If you lose $1, somebody else gained that dollar, or 100 other people gained 1 penny, or 2 other people gained 50 cents each. But that dollar didn't just disappear. If you lost that dollar through, some kind of trade, somebody else gained that dollar. Now, yeah, you could lose the dollar in between the couch cushions. I'm not talking about that. I'm just saying for every loss, there's a win. Since Brian doesn't believe, so what he said was the left knows how to change our voting system so that the left could use it to their best advantage to try and win the election. Oh, the right doesn't do that? And what does it matter if the left does that or the right does that? Without fraud in that kind of system, your vote doesn't matter. Let me just repeat that. Without a fraudulent system, your vote doesn't matter because we know. We don't believe, we don't think, we don't feel. We're not acting on our emotions. We know that your vote doesn't count. How do we know? What's the objective proof that your vote doesn't count? Because every year, every 2 years, every 3 years, every 4 years for that national election, the national debt always goes up, which means our future unborn generations are burdened with more and more and more Federal Reserve notes of debt. The national debt increases. The military industrial complex is empowered. More laws are made, which means less freedom. More laws are made, which means less money for you. The dollar is trashed and eroded. Civil asset forfeiture still exists. The war on drugs, which isn't a war on drugs, it's a war on people. The privatization of prisons. It just goes on and on. Red flag laws. The TAPS Act under Brian Babin and what's that guy's name? Dan Crenshaw from Texas. The TAPS Act, the Threat Assessment Protection and Safety Act. It's red flag laws on steroids. And that's under the red banner. Brian Babin and Dan Crenshaw are Republicans bringing on a Minority Report style trashing of the Second Amendment. Pre-crime. You're guilty until proven innocent. Not innocent until proven guilty. So that's coming from the right. Yes, it does come from the left as well, but they're both aligned against you. And when you vote for a political parasite to be a parasite, you're applauding that evil system. Of course, and in that vein, the government ain't going away because you won't let it. I want it to go away. I want to stop participating in the system, but they won't leave you alone. And until enough of us pull back, open our eyes, pull back, and get our moral compass readjusted to the place that we need to be going, ain't none of this going to materialize. But I'll tell you what, I would rather fight knowing that I'm going to lose if I'm fighting for the right things than just continue to submit to the same old thing, doing the same thing over and over, expecting a different result. Because that's what's happening. Doing the same thing over and over, expecting a different result is the definition of insanity. I mean, can you think of anything more insane? No, I think I can do it. I think I can do it. I think I can do it. You're doing the same thing. Why don't you do something different? Maybe you can get it, go at it from a different angle, throw it at a different speed, maybe a different trajectory, maybe switch hands, maybe get back up a little bit, get a little closer. Those who keep doing what they're doing will keep getting what they've been getting, and they'll deserve it. If you keep doing what you've been doing, you'll keep getting what you've been getting. It's like, I relate it to going to the gym. If you keep lifting the same weights, the same way, the same pattern, your body goes, I'm onto you. You ain't growing because you're not shocking me. As soon as you shock that muscle and you tear that muscle fiber, then it's forced to grow. And then you start eating well and it repairs that muscle. But until then, until you shake it up and do something that it didn't expect, you're going to get the same results, which ain't nothing. Have you ever gone to the gym and people are like, man, I've seen that guy for the last 5 years. He hasn't changed at all. As a matter of fact, it looks like he's gaining. He's got a spare tire now. Because people are doing the same things over and over, expecting a different result, which is utterly insane. Doing the same things over and over. What did Benjamin Franklin say in relation to our freedom? Those who give away a little essential liberty for some politically promised security, which never comes, deserve neither liberty nor security. If you keep doing that same thing over and over, you deserve what you're getting. So yeah, of course, government's not going to go away if people keep staying in this kind of mentality. Since Brian doesn't believe in voting and will allow other people to make the decisions on who will rule over Brian. Well, it's not that I don't believe in voting. It's not that I don't believe in voting. It's that I know what voting is. You know what voting is. Guys, for God's sake, you're voting for people who want to be politicians, people who want the ring of power. We're voting people into power. That's to their detriment and to our detriment. Those who want the ring of power, those who want to step up on that pedestal and look down on everybody else, that power that you want them to have that you can't confer to them, that's not legitimate. You can't confer a power that you don't have yourself. You don't have let me get this straight. You don't have a right to rule somebody, but you're going to give somebody the right to rule you and other people? How does that work? If you don't have that initial right, how can you confer that onto somebody else? And then if 1,000 or 1,000,000 of yous get together and confer onto somebody something that each individual in that group doesn't have, how can you confer that? It's all magic. It's all belief. Do you believe in magic? No, I don't. I don't. Because that thing that you call magic is really an illusion. They're making you believe that's what it is, but that's not what's really happening. They're deceiving your minds. And the bad part about this life is it's easier to deceive the masses than to convince them that they've been deceived. Government has deceived us, and they deceive us 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and mainstream media is just there to help them. That's why I call it CIA infiltrated Operation Mockingbird MK Ultra media. Because they even revealed themselves in the halls of government in the 1970s with the Church Committee that the CIA infiltrated all print and broadcast media. All of it. All the time for MK Ultra and Operation Mockingbird. Come on, guys. Anybody can look this stuff up. I'm not making this stuff up. Says, since Brian doesn't believe in voting, it's not that I don't believe in voting. It's that I know what voting is. Voting is you giving your written consent to have a third party rule and rob others. That's all voting is. When you strip it all away, you strip all the euphemisms away, you strip all the red and the blue tape and the neat banners and the cool signs and the fancy slogans, all you have is you're going to the ballot box to push that button and pull that lever for a man to rule over and steal from other men in the name of keeping them safe. And people go, well, it's necessary. It's a necessary evil. But what did William Pitt the Younger say? Necessity is the plea for every infringement of human freedoms. It's the argument of tyrants. It's the creed of slaves. Why did the tyrants make that argument? Because it benefits them. Why did the slaves make that argument? Because they think it benefits them because they're really comfortable in their slavery. And then everybody who's got two brain cells to rub together looks at it from the outside and goes, God, this is freaking insane. This is freaking insane, man. Since Brian doesn't believe in voting and will allow other people to make the decision on who will rule over Brian, if somebody rules over me, they will do it over my dead body and without my vote of consent. If somebody's really going to come in and try to take away my freedoms and my rights and my financial stability and economically torment me, like YouTube's doing to me and many others right now, just economic terrorism unleashed on all these people who are just trying to get out some good information out there. If people are going to do that to me, they're going to do it without my written consent. And I will sleep at night knowing that I didn't participate in the immorality, the gross immorality of this system. And I'm not mad at Michael Pierce. I'm just passionate about this. I would have preferred to have Mr. Trump in the position of leadership rather than the hands-on youth Uncle Joe Biden. Would you really? We had it better under Obama, right? Guys, Trump re-signed the Patriot Act. Trump re-signed the National Defense Authorization Act, which still has 1021 in it, which means that government agents can, without charge and trial and due process of law, take any American citizen and put him in a cage anywhere in the world. Trump signed that. Trump's for red flag laws. Obama was for red flag laws. Trump did a better job of increasing the national debt. I say better job, increasing the national debt in 4 years than Obama did in 8. With one fell swoop, guys, I can pull up the video right now. They said it was $2.2 trillion in stimulus. It was $6.2 trillion. $4 trillion in with the stroke of a 10-second signature. That fancy Trump signature put our future unborn generations in a huge, a massive puddle of transgenerational debt slavery over and above what Obama did. Nobody increased the military-industrial complex. Remember, Eisenhower warned us against the terror of the military-industrial complex, the reality, the soberness of the military-industrial complex. Trump increased that over and above what Obama and Bush did. Anybody who's bolstering the coffers of the military-industrial complex is not your friend. So he would prefer to have Trump rule over him, is what he's really saying. So I just wrote back and said, this is Brian. The reason government isn't going away is because people keep imagining that it has legitimacy. The belief, and that's all it is, because government is purely fiction, like I was just saying, is what locks people on the collision course for totalitarianism. Actually, why it's hypocritical too. To vote is hypocritical because you're saying you want to be free, but your signature's saying you want to be ruled. So the social engineers see that, and they realize that they've gotten into your brain and they've taken you down and demoralized you to the point where you're actually begging for the chains of your own oppression. You just want it to be the red boot of tyranny on your neck rather than the blue boot of tyranny, and you're just fine with that. I mean, Trump people were actually calling for martial frickin' law under this QAnon nonsense. Martial law. Guys, martial law is the 100% suspension of any rights that you thought you had under the Constitution. I can't even, it's mind-blowing. And I only have a smile on my face because it's like, it's awkward. It's awkward to know that people on the right really believe they have the moral high ground when they are just as much the violators of individual rights as the left, just as much. And maybe even worse, because in my mind, and you can correct me if you want to on this, and I'll accept the correction if it's sound, if it's got a sound argumentation behind it. But in my mind, the more deceptive of the two parties is the right, because it seems like it's more in accordance with morality. You know, the saving of the babies, the protecting of the right to keep and bear arms, which shall not be infringed, and all that. But still, those things that are more deceptive to me are more dangerous. It's like I'd rather have Biden be just hitting us with, just go ahead. Come on, full on. At least we know what we're getting, you know? At least we know what we're getting. At least we're ready for it, you know? With the Trump thing, they just totally let their guard down. Totally. And I think that's part of what the QAnon psychological operation was all about. To have these people who call themselves patriots just trust that there are good guys in government to weed out the bad guys in government. So anyway, I just and let me just finish this out. Are you guys, is this cool? There's 1,060. I don't want to bore anybody, but I think this is all vital stuff. Put a 1 in the room if you want me to keep going, 2 in the room if you don't. And don't worry, you won't hurt my feelings. I understand. But I think this is stuff that we don't need to just talk about. We need to talk about over and over and over and start living it. Have it in our minds. Have it seep down into our hearts. Have it spill out into our communities. Because guys, I'm telling you, Governo Mentis is legit, man. It's mind control. Once you break free from that and you start controlling your own mind, see, the deal is, here's the deal. You either control your own mind or there's somebody out there, there's a lot of somebodies out there who are willing to control that mind for you if you're not willing to step up to the plate. There's a lot of people out there and they know how to do it. They've been studying this stuff for years. Read the book Propaganda by Edward Bernays. It will frickin' blow your mind. Edward Bernays was the nephew of Sigmund Freud. And thanks, guys. Thanks for the ones. He was the nephew or the great nephew, some relation to Sigmund Freud. And he got, you guys know the story. Back in the 1930s, the tobacco industry hired him for, I think it was $125, $150 to get women to start smoking. So how he got into how Edward Bernays, who's called the father of propaganda or the father of public relations, how he got into the women's minds is he appealed to their desire to just want to be free. So he basically talked to a couple debutante friends of his. This is before the internet. This is before the widespread use of the telephone even. Somehow, within a very short period of time, all over the nation, in cities all across this country, women got together to, quote, light torches of freedom, to acknowledge their disdain for man's inhumanity to man, i.e. being suppressed by men. So they went out there and lit torches of freedom. The tobacco sales went through the roof, and the tobacco, R.J. Reynolds or whoever hired Edward Bernays, got way more than their money's worth, because it addicted a whole new class of people, a whole new gender of people onto that product right there. Lighting torches of freedom, taking advantage of your innate desire to just want to be free, to just want to not be oppressed, to just want to be left alone and just be treated as an equal. And that's what Edward Bernays did. So if you don't think there's somebody out there examining how to take control of your mind, man, you got another thing coming. You have not learned it all from history. If you don't learn from history, you're doomed to repeat it. And the stark reality about history is that we don't learn from history. You could be told over and over and over, and maybe some of you are sitting right there right now and go, God, Brian's a freaking broken record. I mean, man, people are not getting it. They're not getting it. And people like me and other voices that are valuable on this platform where you have a wide outreach are disappearing. I've already lost 2 channels, guys. That was a lot. That's a lot of over a quarter of a million subscribers lost on those 2 channels. Having to rebuild back up. Build back, but you know, it ain't such a bad thing, because we can build back better. You know, building back better is not a bad thing. You just got to ask yourself, how did they mean it? Being involved in a great reset in and of itself is not a bad thing, but how did they want to reset it? What does it look like at the end of the great reset? Who has the power? Who has the control? Who has the wealth? Where are all the poor people going to go? What do you do with all those people? See, they use all these terms that in and of themselves, that's not a bad thing. I want a great reset. I definitely want a great reset. I don't want a Klaus Schwab great reset. I don't want what they think is a utopian society. I do want to, building back better is a great concept. What do they mean by that, though? Oh, we're tearing this thing. We're burning this thing to the ground, boy. And when we build it up, oh boy, it's going to be like that statue to Nebuchadnezzar. It's going to be built in our image. And guess what? The great reset is you bowing down to us. See, the world's got a problem. We got a carbon footprint problem. Yeah, never mind the fact that I live in a 10,000 square foot home with 16 bathrooms and fly on my jumbo jets or here and yon. You, on the other hand, you little pissant peon, you need to change your ways. And you got this right here. I think I have it pulled up. Yeah, in the UK, you got the UK carbon tax to drive up the cost of gas, heating, milk, and beef. You think that's going to bother the Mark Zuckerbergs and the Jack Dorseys and the Elon Musks and the Bill Gates of this world? No way. It'll affect you and me, though. And I know this is in the UK, but you guys in the UK are my brothers and sisters, too. I don't want to see this happen to you. I don't want to see it happen to me. I don't want to see it happen to your families or my family. We got to all pull together, man. Jimbo says, build back better with a bride. I don't know if you wrote it like that, but it just sounds good. Build back better with Brian. Matter of fact, my next YouTube channel is going to be called Build Back Better. Submit to the authority. You will respect my authority. Ah, man, I enjoy being with you guys. But check this out. I'm just going to read some of this right here. I will deal with those chats you gave me, the tip jar. Thank you, guys. Did you talk about HR 127? Yeah, I did, but I can bring it up again. Happy birthday. As a matter of fact, you know what? If you guys want, thanks for the ones in the room. I don't want to take advantage of that. But if you want, I have really been meaning to do this. I already covered HR 127. A lot of people are saying this is no big deal because it's from Sheila Jackson Lee and they bring this up every year. I think it's a big deal to stay on this kind of stuff. HR 127 is a really, really bad bill. If you want me to do a separate live stream, because I did want to do this on a live stream because I wanted to get your take on some of this stuff. If you wanted me to go over HR 127, if you don't know what it is, just do a quick Google search on it. It will blow your mind, man. It's like, whoa. I actually like bills like HR 127 because I want people to see just how they want to take your property, man. So put a 1 in the room if you want me to do a separate live stream on HR 127. Thinking about just doing more live streams, guys. It takes so long to put one video. If you see a 10-minute video, I invested hours of research and just putting that thing together. So a 1 in the room for HR 127 separate live stream. This says a tax rate on your lifestyle. Boris Johnson is considering a new carbon tax that would see the price of mince, which is meat, rise more than 40% to £5. I don't know what, whatever 5 pounds minus 40% is. 4 pints of milk by 21% and push up the cost of gas heating. There was something, it went into more detail right here. It says families are facing a tax on their lifestyle as Boris Johnson ponders new carbon taxes and charges for Britons that would see higher prices on meat and cheese at the supermarket and on gas for their hobs and boilers at home. I don't know what hobs are. Maybe you UKers could tell me. Okay, that's a lot of ones. Thank you. Okay, I'll do it. HR 127. I really want to do HR 127 live with you guys. The reindeer says the HR 127 is a joke. It'll never catch any momentum. Scare tactic. You know what? People thought that about the 45-day drafting of the Patriot Act. The reindeer. People are like, that'll never pass. And then things pass. And it's like, oh my God. People get desensitized to all these bills coming down the pike. I think that's by design. It's like that stimulus, that omnibus spending package. It weighed 32 freaking pounds. 32 pounds. You're going to tell me that those congressmen and senator read every one of those 5,593 pages? Get that out of here. Get the frick out of here, boy. You don't know what you're talking about. I read every single one of them 5,593 pages, all 32 pounds of it, man. I had all my 5 kids come in, put that thing in the wheelbarrow, and I read it last night. So I know exactly what I'm putting my name to. So what if they want to give $10 to $25 million for Palestinian gender studies? Oh, my goodness. Yeah, psychological visits. Yep, from HR 127. There's a lot of stuff in that thing, man. A lot of stuff in there. Build back better, though. That's a lot of poopy, says tree climber. I appreciate you guys being here, man. I hope we don't lose this channel. The thing that sucks about losing a channel like that is you get separated from your audience. So if you can do me a favor, I mean, there's 1,121 people in here. If you can do me a favor, in the description under this video right here, just please follow me on BitChute, on Library, on what else? Gab, Twitter, by the way, I'm suspended from Facebook. I don't know if you know this, but I'm suspended from Facebook for 60 days. If I get one more suspension, my Facebook page, I can't get into any one of my Facebook pages. Crazy. So yeah, they're planning on doing this carbon tax here in the UK. Let's see. Oh, you know what? I am gonna play this video live because we keep talking about this. We keep talking about this. How can I put it? Because the algos will pick you up. It doesn't matter to me about voter FRAUD. But look what fake stream media, CNN, said about, how do I say this? The rigging of the system back in 2016 with Hillary Clinton. Just listen to this is a refresher, just a quick refresher. And again, this is an excerpt of the thing that I put on Grease Monkey Videos. You'll see this video embedded within my last video on Grease Monkey Videos. If you don't have the link to that, that's in the description too. But listen to this. Actually, you know what? I'm not going to play this because I'm not sure what's going to happen on this live stream. So let me just read it to you. This is from CNN. Keep in mind, this as far as the Silicon Valley oligarchs are concerned, CNN, the counterfeit news network, is a top shelf authoritative source. So watch this. Senator Elizabeth Warren said she believes that the Democratic National Committee was rigged. Wow, if you say that today, you get condemned, you get crucified by the CNNs of the world. But they were uncovering this stuff back in 2016, 2017, and they knew it was a fact. Guys, you don't think there's rigging going on? Yeah, we know the entire process is completely fraudulent. We know that, but you don't think there's rigging going on with those machines? Are you serious? If you were a half-pint journalist worth his salt of ferreting out the truth, you could easily uncover what was going on here. Easily. Okay, so let me just read it again. I'll try to do it without interrupting myself. What? Never mind. Senator Elizabeth Warren said she believes that the Democratic National Committee was rigged in favor of former Democratic presidential nominee Hillary Clinton during the 2016 primary. And again, I just want to remind the YouTube algorithms, I am reading straight from CNN here. Asked Thursday by CNN's Jakey the Snake Tapper whether she believes that the Democratic campaign organization was tipped in favor of Clinton over her primary opponent. That's actually not how he put it. He said, "Do you believe it's rigged?" Independent Vermont Senator Bernie Sanders, Warren responded without hesitation, yes. As a matter of fact, okay, I'm going to play this last part of it because you got to see it. There's dramatic effect here. Let's see. Let's not play too much of this. Keep ourselves out of hot water there. Oh, wait a second. I gotta refresh the page. Let me refresh this page and then I'll play it. Here we go. Come on, technology. Come on, the technology there. Here we go.
For all of Bernie's supporters, that he's going to succeed.
Very quickly, Senator, do you agree with the notion that it was rigged?
Yes.
Yes, of course I do. Now, believe it or not, the Communist News Network, the Counterfeit News Network, did some pretty good reporting on election meddling or tampering or whatever back in the 2000s. They did a really good job on that. So why is everybody shocked today? They're calling it a conspiracy theory. Well, if that's the case, let's go ahead and stay consistent. CNN calls it a conspiracy theory today. That means back then they were involved in spreading conspiracy theories. And they did a pretty good job of it too. And they were continuing to stick with it night and day. They revealed Donna Brazile as somebody who was basically one of those insiders who made that rigging happen. Crazy. And you know what? Just this is off the cuff right here. Let me show you. Let me go to CNN. I want to show you what I saw today. Let me go to CNN's channel. I hate giving them clicks, but man, how do you... By the way, I just want to remind you, we are 26 hours after the time at which all of mainstream media was supposed to have been taken over by the military. I just want to remind you that. Hey, what's up? What you got to say about that, Charlie Ward? Charlie Ward lying to everybody. I want to show you something.
It's been such a crazy...
Chris Cuomo. Chris, don't believe mainstream media Cuomo. Remember when he said that? Here, wait. I think I have that. I have the soundbite. Let me pull up the soundbite. I want to show you his dialogue here, his interaction with Mark Cuban. And I just want to point out something. This Mark Cuban is somebody that people in the financial realm really, really treat with high respect. But my program's coming up here. Let me go to Chris Cuomo. Let me see if I got it. Listen to what Chris Cuomo said about the media not being your friend.
So I'm careful with the media always. Right. I've always told you the media is not your friend.
No.
I'm careful with the media always. I always told you the media is not your friend. That's the voice of Chris Cuomo talking to who is that guy? The lawyer for Trump, Cohen. Listen.
So I'm careful with the media always.
Right. So I'm careful with the media always.
I've always told you the media is not your friend.
No.
The media.
So I'm careful with the media always. Right. I've always told you the media is not your friend.
No.
So this is Chris, the media is not your friend Cuomo, talking to Mark Cuban. Listen to this.
You can have it as a title. It's good to see you, brother.
They talk about GME, AMC stock. They talk about Robinhood. They talk about Citadel, and they're talking about this whole thing that happened with Wall Street Bets.
I think he's taking the right steps, particularly with stimulus. I mean, in my mind...
Oh, no, here it is. Here we go.
Things about... it's good to see you, brother.
Good to see you too, Chris.
I just want your take on three different things about whether it seems right and what it means. Let's start with Biden, though. Do you think his plan for relief is in the right direction? He said tonight, I don't think the 50...
Let's not call it relief, guys. That is a euphemism. This call for relief, I don't care if it came under the Trump administration or the Biden administration. It is not relief. Do you think this call for loading down future unborn Americans with transgenerational debt slavery is the way to go? That's what they should be saying. And it is never the way to go, because what it does is it dilutes that M2 money supply. And let's just listen to what they have to say. And I'm going to bring up the M2 money supply chart just to demonstrate to you how insidious what they're talking about is and how dishonest they're being. This is literal. This is the definition of misinformation.
$15 minimum wage is going to make it. That sounds right, even within his own caucus. Is he doing the right things? What else needs to be done?
No, I think he's taking the right steps, particularly with stimulus. I mean, in my mind,
even Mark Cuban calls it stimulus. It's not stimulus, guys. It's robbery. It's robbery. Whenever they get out there and they create more notes and dilute that money supply, they are stealing from the product of your time and laboring energies. If you have a dollar bill in your pocket, pull it out and ask yourself, how long does it take me to earn this? How long did it take? What did I have to sacrifice to earn this? And that thing has a value on it, but that value diminishes the more of those get circulated into the money supply. And that's what they're talking about here. It's not stimulus. It's not relief. It is theft.
interest rates are 1%. And so can we earn more than 1% by investing in the people of the United States of America? And
you're not investing in the people in the United States of America when you're stealing from their wealth at the same time. How are you investing in your neighbor if you go to his house at 2 o'clock in the morning when he's gone doing his night shift and stealing stuff out of his garage? How are you helping them? How are you investing in them? You're not. You're stealing from him.
Answer is
whether
yes.
he knows it or not. And a lot of people don't know they're being stolen from. All they see is that, okay, give me $600. All right. Yeah, $600 in the past, what was it, 253 days we figured it out, put it on the calculator, that's 72 cents a day? Are you serious? Doesn't it cost you more than 72 cents a day to just live? If you lived under a bridge, it would cost you more than 72 cents a day to live. And not counting your car payment, your mortgage payment, maybe you have student loans, maybe you like to eat. 72 cents a day over the last 253 days since the last stimulus in April. It's a slap in the face, man. But even if they gave you enough, that the receiving of that money, and I'm not slighting anybody for taking that money, but when you take that money and you throw it into the economy, then every dollar that you have that you earn that's in your bank or wherever is diminished in value. That is just economics 101.
Yes, I think we'll get an amazing return. And by investing, adding the...
Yeah, we will. You billionaire class, you'll get an incredible return, but not us. We won't get an incredible return.
$1,400, seeing where that takes us. And by the way, the first stimulus and the second half stimulus all improved the economy. So let's not mess with it. Let's keep on doing it.
No, it didn't. It smoothed over the illusion. It put more window dressing. Guys, stimulus does not bolster or strengthen the economy. It weakens the economy and strengthens the illusion. It's the illusion of prosperity.
And see what happens next.
And to the people who say, no, that's not real economics. You're giving them money. Shouldn't do it.
They're wrong, right? The proof is in the pudding. When we got the first stimulus.
They're wrong. They're wrong. You can print money into existence. You can flood the markets with liquidity. You can launch QE and infinity. They're wrong. They're just wrong.
Back in April, May, whenever it was, we saw growth in the economy, real growth in the economy, and it helped turn it around. I think the challenge is people are dogmatic when it comes to economics. There's the Republican dogma, there's the Democratic dogma. Why mess with what works? This is working.
It's working, and it's worked since 1913. Why not just leave well enough alone? Let me show you the M2 money supply chart. Look at this. This gives you just a bird's eye view of what the frick is actually going on. Watch this. Before I even get to this last little bit right here. Well, I'll just show you the whole thing. This is the M2 money supply in America since the 1970? Since 1980, since November 3rd, 1980. See how it's gradually increased? As that increase, the value of your dollars diminishes and diminishes and diminishes. Now, let me just show you this last part, starting in March of 2020, February, March of 2020. I'm going to expand this chart right here so you can just take a look at it. You can hear Dakota drinking in the background. Little guy's thirsty. Look at this. Look at the exponential increase when Teddy Ghebreyesus got up there and declared a you-know-what for the entire world. From March 2020, that's like, this is proof that it's not about the planned organized partial shutdown in the U.S. economy in the second quarter. Actually, it is. It is. So they can dilute the money supply. When the money supply is diluted, by the time you get those dollars, it's already been wrung of value. Who rang it of that value before you got those notes? Oh, that's right, the billionaires. How do we know? Because I did a video earlier today. I think I put it on this channel right here. If you missed it, you need to take a look at it. They're basically rubbing it in our faces using mainstream media to do it, that the billionaire class has increased, just the top 10 billionaires have increased their portfolio, their bottom line portfolio, their net worth, by $563 billion, $500 billion. This is the greatest power and wealth transfer. This isn't about keeping you safe. This isn't about the con, you know what? Con VID, George Orwell, 1984. This is about the biggest power and wealth transfer, and you can see it right here. When you see this number going up, wealth was transferred from somebody to somebody else. And we know who got it. And we also know who it was stolen from. This is a big, massive theft with a big smokescreen cover story of you know what. All right. Let's see. Real quick with the tip jar. Holy cow, I'm really behind. Okay, Emerald Rider dropped a 10 minute. You dropped a 10-minute tip? Thanks, man. You bought me 10 minutes. Emerald Rider dropped a $10 tip, says the real terrorists wear suits. Think about that. Think about that. Greg dropped $5. Great info. Thank you, man. Scooby Dooby Do Right dropped $2 and said, treat your doggy today. Peace. Hey, boy, come here. Oh, he's not at my feet. He's usually at my feet. I was going to hold Dakota up to you guys, let you see his little cute face. Lala Doodle drops $1 and says, have you seen Minivan Jack's videos? Here's his latest one. We are voting ourselves to death. I love that guy. I found his page for measures against Jabba the Hutt. Yeah, freedomtaker.com. Let me show you Minivan Jack. Guys, if you've never heard of Minivan Jack, let me just introduce you to him. Love this guy. I've talked to him a couple times on the phone, just totally down to earth. Yeah, there he is. Minivan Jack. And what I will do is, see, he launched this video 2 days ago. We are voting ourselves to death. This guy's, he's a wealth of information too, and I love his presentations. It's really, really good. This is a 12-minute, 45-second video.
Consider this quote.
Here, let me just, I'm going to play the first 30 minutes of it, and I'm going to be putting the link in the chat room for you.
From Benjamin Franklin. When the people find that they can vote themselves money, that will herald the end of the republic. The people have not only found out that they can vote themselves money, they are willing to cheat in doing it by committing massive voting fraud and election fraud. Yes, election fraud is now systemic and the evidence is overwhelming, but even if...
Oh boy, I hope he doesn't get his channel taken down for that. Yeah, voting. I like the first comment right here. Voting is terrible. So is democracy. Democracy, Benjamin Franklin also said, is two wolves and a lamb deciding on what to have for dinner. All right. Yeah, Minivan Jack is good. There's the link right there, guys. Thanks for that. Thanks for reminding me about his channel, Lala Doodle. Happy birthday 213 has dropped $5 in the tip jar and said, did you talk about HR 127 already? If so, are there any solutions to this massive encroachment on our unalienable rights? Yeah, always. There always is, guys. There always is. There's always a positive for every negative. We just stand against this kind of stuff. We call it out every time we see it. We try to change the hearts and minds. I love what Samuel Adams says. It's not the majority who will prevail, but the irate and tireless minority who are keen on setting brush fires of freedom in the minds of men. So yeah, that is one thing that we do. Just take to the streets, talk to your neighbors, talk to your family. They may think you're crazy, but you know what? Eventually they'll come around. And you know when I think people will eventually come around is when things get so bad and the store shelves get so empty, and you were the only person in your neighborhood to prepare. And guys, don't let go. Don't hit the cruise setting and just ride on coast. We ain't seen nothing yet. They intend to bring about the Great Reset. They intend to make you own nothing and you be happy about it. Do whatever you can to supply, convert your fiat currency notes or whatever to long-term storable food, water filtration, gold, silver, the other precious metal, lead, vitamins, minerals, nutrients, and all that kind of stuff that you know you're going to need. Canned food or whatever. Get it from wherever. I do have a link in the description, but I'm telling you guys, get it from wherever. Get dried beans, dried rice, canned food, stuff that's going to last for a long time. Climate Change Moron said, Brian, in the chat, I am Jambo. You're a diamond in a vast ocean of diarrhea. Oh my gosh, man. What a word picture. You are so right about voting. Just turkeys voting for Christmas. Yeah, that's a good way to put it too. God bless you. If you or anyone can go to Alistair Williams' channel and get him off the Q Hopium. I think, didn't you mention something about Alistair Williams before? Let me just pull that up while I'm on the air with you guys. Alistair Williams. Alice. I think I spelled that right. Is he a comedian? Alistair Williams, comedian?
What?
All right, cool. Thanks, Climate Change Moron. Stratman60 just dropped $3 in the tip jar and says, this tells us everything we need to know. Crud. Drop it again, Stratman, because I can't click on that link right there for some reason. Cody Edwards dropped $5 in tip jar and said, if you're doing it, I'm your agent. Build Brian back better. The new Q, but known as Quad B's baby. Thank you, Brian, for what you do. That went over my head, man. That went over my head. Thanks for the tip in the tip jar, though. All right, guys. If you like this video, drop a like in the chat. It really helps with the algorithms. So there's 1,083 people here right now. Let's see if we can get over 1,000 before the end of the live stream. I think what's that, babe? Oh, I thought you said something. Tricia says hi. Hi. Hi, howdy. How are you? You sure are pretty. You got a pretty mouth over there. Yeah, I think I got everything. I actually wasn't gonna go. Oh, check that out, guys. Since we were talking, Dogecoin went up to 66.5 cents, man. Look at that. 6.5 cents. That's massive. That's just a massive increase. So let's see. At the beginning of this, it was at 5.3 or 5.4 cents. Now it's at 6.5 cents. Very interesting. Everybody saying hi, Trish.
Hello.
What's up, Ovis, Back Schmill, Ghost Hammer, Scotty, Jack of all trades. Guys, thanks for Dogecoin is going up, Raphael. That's a crazy there, man. And it's getting some super volatility in it. It went down to 60 all the way up to 65, half a cent in a 1 minute bar. That's the 1 minute chart right here. If you want to take a look at, we'll just take a look at it real quick. If you want to take a look at the hour chart, the hour chart looks like this right here. So it was hovering around 0.007 cents, and it actually went up to 8.8 cents. So if you got it at 0.007 cents and we're actually able to sell it at like 7.5 cents, you did pretty good. You know, I'm not an investment advisor. I'm not telling anybody to get in anything, but there's some people making some pretty good profits with Dogecoin. Am I saying? I don't even know if I'm saying it right. Tree Climber just dropped $5 in the tip jar. Thank you, guys. I appreciate your support. Smash the like button. 944 likes right now. Can we get to 1,000? Do I need to sing you a song? Do I need to sing you a song for 1,000? It's like all the likes start disappearing. It's like, we're down to 10 likes. Okay, stop singing. All right, guys. I am out of here. What the F is Doji? It's a cryptocurrency. that people are making bank on, and apparently Elon Musk has taken a liking to it, and whenever he tweets about Dogecoin, it just goes through the roof. Gene Simmons from KISS. Matter of fact, I didn't even look at the article. I just heard about it. Let's see. Yeah, look at that. It's the first thing that came up. Gene Simmons, Doge. Elon Musk. Oh, let's go to Forbes. No. When Elon Musk tweets Doge goes up, Gene Simmons tweeted about Doge too. The small dip in price followed. Oh, a small dip this week. Volatile Doge prices emphasize how susceptible crypto is to social media. It is so crazy, man. The internet decided swiftly at the time of writing. Dogecoin holds 70.5% of the votes, and just 8 minutes after the tweet, Dogecoin reached a 24-hour high of 5 cents, which was a 12.16% increase. Interesting stuff. Only bet with money that you can afford to lose, because the chances are you will lose it, because there's a bunch of sharks swimming around in the ocean, and we're not even minnows, we're microplankton. If you swim with the sharks, you might want to just go ahead and count on getting bit. All right, guys, I am out of here. Bitcoin 220,000 by year end. Jeez. Wouldn't it be nice to have a crystal ball? All right, guys, I will see you guys in the next heavily censored, shadow banned, fully demonetized